But if it happens to be higher up on your arm, or if they happen to be grabbing you by the hip, so if you come in and you actually grab the hip on the other side, starts pulling you that way, at this point, what you want to do is step right behind them as quickly as you can, one large step, and you're going to take your hand and actually put it against their chest and turn that direction. You're going to cause them to trip over themselves. Uh-oh.
Can you fall?
Here, you do it to me.
Okay. Okay.
Doesn't have to be fast.
So I'm doing it to you?
So you can do the hip or you can do pull an arm, yeah. Or do you want to do it to you? Here, do it to me.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull. Alright, so if he's grabbing my lapel and his palm is down, I'm going to take my hand, trap it down with two hands. I'm going to turn, take a step, and then come down.
Majority of the times the attackers are males. And males have a certain body part which is very sensitive, and we're going to call them plums. So she's going to demonstrate if somebody is coming in holding, she can actually reach down and grab the plum. So imagine you're grabbing a plum, good, and squeeze. Good. And when you squeeze, it's not pulling with the fingers, it's actually, you kind of keep the fingers there and pressing with your palm.
Great.
It's actually give you more pressure of your whole body going into it instead of just, because my plums are sometimes really awesome. So you want to have more pressure on them.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
You can always add. It takes about 70 pounds of pressure to crack this pelvic wall, because there's no bone there. 70.
Really?
Yeah, which is not really. 70 pounds.
It's not, but it sounds like a lot.
Well, the force of a knee can do that.
Yeah.
That can generate easily several hundred pounds just for a knee. So I tell you that because all the nerve endings, they're all bundled in that area. So if we're enclosed, blue jeans, it's hard to get fingers in.
Okay.
So you can always include that.
Mm-hmm.
That the other option is if that you're just in a sheer panic, your hands are tied up, you can
Use the
pop. Or always palm heel, which you generate more power to hit the pelvic wall.
So let's say you find yourself in a situation where you're being bear hugged from the back, and your arms are trapped, and you don't have room, or for some odd reason you can't remember the move or how to get out of it. You can do something simple as having a pen, a marker, a cell phone, or something in your hands, and you're going to try to find a nice spot in their arms. Now the arms, here, let go for a sec. There are muscles in here, and what you want to do is get to the meat of the muscles. You're going to take that key, cell phone, whatever it happens to be, find that spot in the muscles, and you're going to press it in, sideways, and down. And what that does is causes tension. I can already feel my fingers and my wrists starting to tense up. And whoever has the bear hug, I'm going to find that spot. I can see those muscles, and that's perfect. I'm going to go actually between those. I'm going to slide in and press down. As you do, you can hear screaming, but mostly the arm will let go. At that point, let's say I'm in a weird situation. Either I come up, shake somebody's hand, and they're mad at me, or somehow I find myself in a position where grab my arm, and you're going to turn it so it's behind my back. And you're going to do this to me. And all of a sudden I'm in a situation where I'm trying to fight it, which is actually going to cause pain to you. Instead of fighting it, you actually want to go with the flow of it. So you're going to turn in the opposite direction of your hand, turn into them, take your palm, push it into their face, and then take off. So if you're at a point where you're against somebody that has a lot of strength, height, weight, whatever it happens to be, they're cross-grabbing your wrist and you can't do the fish because they're really strong, you actually want to take your other hand and bring it together. Now you're not going to interlock your fingers, you're actually going to do what's called a gable grip. The thumbs and the fingers actually hold the fingers together. At that point, it's the same concept as the other fish. You're actually going to use your body weight, turn the wrist around again. At that point, you can actually break it, push them off. What if they happen to cross grab? It's the very same concept. You're going to take that fish, circle it in front of you. Again, you want to cause that bend in the wrist. At this point, you're going to point to their neck and if you happen to have a step in it, which is awesome, you're going to create this bend in the elbow, and as you do, you're going to step in and push them back. So let's say somebody is using both their hands to hold one of your arms. You're going to do this. You're going to do a elbow grip. Bring these two hands together, and it doesn't matter which side. You can go in either direction. You're going to make a big circle. Now you want to be careful that you're not doing this. You want to kind of keep your posture straight. You're going to turn your body, make a nice little circle in front of you with both hands, and this causes the grips to break off once the wrists start bending. At that point, you want to complete that circle, push them, and take off. So if somebody's grabbing both your wrists, you want to have the same concept. You're going to clasp these two hands together, just like as in the gable grip. You're going to swing them out. Again, you're wanting to cause bends in the wrist. This one is bending in this direction, and the other one is opening us as well. As you do, you're going to keep spinning, and it breaks their hold. Push them off, run away. One more time, in a little normal speed. Bring the hands together, spin, and push away. What if somebody just comes up and grabs you from the back?
Hey.
They got both. That was cute. They got both wrists in their control. What you're going to do is you're going to take a step back. As you do, you're going to fling your arms forward, keeping them as straight as possible, and keep going up. Now, both of those happen at the same time, the step back and the rolling of the arms to the front direction. I'm not going to do it too hard.
Would you mind doing it again? But just because for distance, can you turn sideways so I can see your full body?
Do you want that door closed?
You can't see anything.
So if somebody has you grabbed by both wrists behind you, what you want to do is keep calm. You're going to take a step back. As you do, you're going to move your arms forward, trying to keep them as straight as you possibly can. And it's not a push, it's actually a rotation. So what you're going to do is, you're going to step back. As you do, these arms come together. What that does is, your back is going to smash against their body and maybe even their face. As they do, they're going to bounce off. Can I do it to you just a little bit? What can happen to cross grab? It's the very same concept. You're going to take that fish, circle it in front of you. Again, you want to cause that bend in the wrist. At this point, you're going to point to their neck, and if you happen to have a step in it, which is awesome, you're going to create this bend in the elbow, and as you do, you're going to step in and push them back and walk away. So actually, let's face this way. If you're being bear hugged from behind, both your arms are trapped. You just cross step behind and put one leg right behind their closest leg. With the other one, as much as you can, grab their other foot, and you're going to keep rotating and make them trip. As they go down, they're going to take down. You go down with them. At this point, use this elbow, get to the plums, find an escape, and take off.
Good job.
There you go.
Thank you.
So actually, let's face this way. If you're being bear hugged from behind, both your arms are trapped. You just cross step behind and put one leg right behind their closest leg. With the other one, as much as you can, grab their other foot, and you're going to keep rotating and make them trip. As they go down, they're going to take down. You go down with them. At this point, use this elbow, get to the plums, find an escape, and take off. If you happen to find yourself in a position where somebody comes up and gives you a bear hug from the back, and your arms are actually free, so you're going to be here. You can actually do a couple of things. The first posture is you're going to take a wider step, you're going to lean down, grab the back of their leg, and sit on their knee. You're going to fall, and you start running away. You're going to take one of your feet, you're going to step behind their leg. Now if you notice, my leg is in contact right behind their leg. It doesn't necessarily have to be this way, just right behind. At this point, you're going to keep rolling up, straighten yourself out, and you're going to make them trip over themselves, or your leg. more time. So if somebody comes up and gives you a big hug without arms, you have two options. Well, actually, what you want to do is you want to take one hand, put it against their. Yeah, you're facing this way. This is awesome. You want to put it against their chin, the other hand against their head. You're actually going to turn in the direction that their head is already turning into. With the opposite leg, you're actually going to step back as you do.
So if somebody comes in and chokes you, you're going to turn to the side, and as if you had a baseball, turn your whole body, bring your arms down, and get out of the way. Okay. So if somebody's grabbing me here, I'm going to get my baseball, turn, break the hold, and get out.
In one motion.
If I'm being pinned up against a wall and he's choking me at the same time, I'm going to take my hand, weave it under his elbow, under his wrist, clasp at the side, turn, push all the way down, and get out. Okay, if I'm being grabbed from behind at the throat, this is seat belt.
Sorry, one more time. So grab,
Open.
choke, or strangle. Because grabbing can
Grab
be
is
with
grabbing.
others. Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
If I'm being choked from behind, I'm going to take my hands, put them in here, in where my neck is. I have that ability to do that because at this point I'm keeping my chin down. At this point I'm going to drop down to my knee, my right knee, and then I'm going to lean down with my shoulder, bring it down to my waist as if I had a seatbelt on.
So let's say you're standing and somebody comes up and pulls you from your hand or elbow. Now, if it's anything elbow or lower, you can actually do the fish movement right here as well. As you break the same thing. If somebody grabs you here from the back, it's the same concept. What you're going to do is grab their hand, not their wrist again, just their hand. Keep it intact. Make them keep control of their. You keep control of their hand on your head. You're going to step back, either for one or the other, preferably the one away from them. You're going to turn around, keeping the hand held in. Look at the shoes, and you're going to stand up. Tap. What that does is causes this wrist to bend in a certain way that they can't. The pain is too much, and they eventually will let go.
You can do it one more time just for a different camera angle. You don't have to.
Talk.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be sitting and somebody comes up behind you, grabs your hair, and starts pulling you backwards, first thing you want to do is trap their hands. You don't want to let their hands come off your head, because once I pull you, you're going to lay down on the ground. At this point, you're going to tuck in your elbows, and you're going to straighten your legs, and you're actually going to roll one side or the other. You're going to keep rolling. What that causes is, as long as you have my hand trapped against your head, I'm actually going to start spinning, falling, and I'm going to try to roll. As soon as you sense that, you need to get up, escape, and run away from the front. So if somebody grabs you here, what you want to do is keep their hand intact. You're going to move down, look at their shoes, and step back. And at that point, you can push them off and run to safety. Another option is... if they
Do it again with a kick.
Okay. No words, because. Oh, okay. So if somebody has your hair grabbed from the front, what you want to do is capture their hand. You don't want to capture their wrist, because that's what you're going to be bending. You want to grab their hand, keep it intact so they can't let go. You're going to kneel back, or step back, kneel down, look at their shoes. As you do, you're going to step back, kick, and take off.
from the elbows in front in case the other hand just decides to hit you.
All right. So if somebody attacks you from... If somebody attacks you from the front or grabs your hair, what you want to do is make sure that you grab their hand and keep it stuck to your head, not the wrist, because that's what you want to bend. You want to grab their hand, keep it close. You're going to step back. As you do, you want to pull in your elbows so that they don't attack you with the other hand on your face. You're going to look at their shoes as you step back, start walking back. You're going to go to the ground. At that point, you kick and run away.